It's raining! First freaking rain of spring. Thought winter would never end. Okay, so today's topic is poetry. Ugh, let me slay it all. And if you're wondering, yeah, that bit was added to the document by me. I'm not a fan of poetry in general, for a couple of reasons. Firstly, because it's a bit of the fanfiction effect. People who aren't very good at it tend to attempt it, and even worse, the people who aren't very good at it tend to take an elitist view of it. And that's just,
And we make videos and stuff.
The thing with poetry is, most people conceive of it as a rhyming piece of writing. Any kind of writing that rhymes. And I mean, some people do understand that it doesn't have to have rhyme, that's only one part of poetry, that it's the imagery, the symbolism, the meaning. But then you get the kind of poetry where it begins to get kind of abstract, and I sort of wonder if the writer even has a meaning designed for their poem, or if they're just kind of spouting off words. My opinion, I'm just not really a fan. But, example. I get this magazine, Geist. Yeah, you can tell by the fact that it's not even opened that I've gotten a bit tired of it recently. There we go, open now. Geist has a lot of urban art. Like, you know, in photography recently there's been a trend towards taking pictures of urban areas, of, I don't know, rusty bicycles, or back alleys of urban areas, you know, that sort of thing. Well, in Geist, the writing is taking that kind of idea. Here's an example. I think I know how it is. A rage like old neon. A near broken circuit that seizes into connection occasionally, shimmering out. And I mean, I guess that's supposed to be good literature and good poetry and stuff, but I guess I'm just reading too much of this at one time because it begins to repeat itself after a while, and everyone tends to seize upon the same sort of imagery. Okay, example. Remember the lit mag we had in high school? Remember the tone of all the pieces in that lit mag? Dark, dreary, the kind of thing you expect from an adolescent magazine. Well, there's a magazine here too, and I mean, not to degrade from people's writing, I'm sure it's great, but I mean, it's all the same thing. It's depressing things, this imagery based on very dark, emotional places, and I feel like that's where everyone turns to when they start writing. It's a bit like what Nicole said about acting. Anyone can act angry, all you need to do is shout. But to be happy or to portray the softer, sad emotions, it requires some actual skill. I feel like that's true for poetry as well. It's easy to be really gloomy and depressing, but harder to have a wider range of emotion. And yeah, I know, I am biased. I much prefer writing prose to poetry. I prefer reading prose to poetry. I like the storylines. Small stories and small poems tend to be very disconnected in a way. The emotions are very compact, obviously because it's a small piece. I feel like people almost have more trouble achieving continuity in a small piece than a larger piece, because you have to be very, very precise about your words. So yeah, that's about it. And because I'm really bad at endings, here's a bit of poetry from Los Leones de Alcazán. El amor es una flor, por la dulzura que desprende antes de morir. I'm a poet and I know it.